What does the beer Budweiser, the basketball player Jason Tatum, and the company Emerson all have in common? That's right. They are all from St. Louis, Missouri, and are all proud Americans or American brands. For those of you that don't know, Emerson is an iconic US conglomerate, but it has been reinventing itself lately. In fact, it sold its incinerator business, which makes carburetors, to Whirlpool for $3 billion. And recently, it sold its climate technologies business to Blackstone for $14 billion. Yes, that's $14 billion for a portion of the business. In our January 2024 video newsletter called Mink, which you should subscribe to in the link in the description below if you don't already receive it, we took a deep dive into the sale of Emerson's climate technologies business to Blackstone. To learn more about the deal, stay tuned for our Mink video newsletter. In this edition of Mink, we will walk you through the Emerson Climate Technologies deal, a recent deal where Blackstone acquired Emerson Climate Technologies, which is now called Copeland. We'll go through the history of Emerson, followed by the details of the deal, and then we will analyze the deal. So let's get started with the history of Emerson, an iconic US conglomerate that has been acquiring and divesting assets to become more focused. Back in 1890, Emerson Electric Manufacturing Company was established and developed an electric motor. 7 years later, in 1897, Emerson introduced its ceiling fan, which soon became half of the company's business. Over the next 57 years, Emerson created many new products, including products sold through government contracts in World War II. In 1954, Emerson had $56 million in sales, and over the next 19 years, the company made quite a few acquisitions, including Thermodisc, a manufacturer of highly engineered sensing, controlling, and sealing components, Ridge Tool, which makes and distributes tools under the Rigid brand name, and Incinerator, which is a leader in making carburetors. By 1973, Emerson grew to $800 million in sales. Over the following 40 years, Emerson expanded through more acquisitions, including the 1986 acquisition of Copeland, which makes compressors for air conditioning and refrigeration systems. And during that time, Emerson made key moves to expand internationally. In 2013, Emerson's sales reached approximately $25 billion. After that, the company began to reposition itself and made many divestitures and acquisitions. Two of its higher profile divestitures include in 2022 when it sold its incinerator business to Whirlpool for $3 billion, which is big, but not as big as the second divestiture, which is in 2023, the $14 billion deal that we are talking about in this video. So let's move on to the details of the deal. On May 31st, 2023, Emerson sold a majority stake in its climate technologies business to Blackstone for $14 billion. The climate technologies business, which includes the Copeland compressor business and the entire portfolio of products and services across all residential and commercial HVAC and refrigeration end markets, will become a new standalone company where Emerson will retain a significant minority stake. The new standalone company, which accounted for $5 billion in sales in 2022 while it was part of Emerson, will take on the name Copeland. So let's analyze the deal. Conglomerates have been divesting to private equity firms in efforts to have more focused strategies going forward. Many public conglomerates have been trading with a conglomerate discount, which means that investors are discounting their valuations because they're conglomerates. With a more focused strategy, it is easier for investors to value these large companies based on more pure play comparables, especially since a more focused strategy results in increased transparency in reporting. GE has had divestitures, including selling its aircraft leasing business. Hitachi in Japan recently sold Hitachi Metals to a consortium of investors led by Bain Capital. And here, Emerson has been divesting certain units, such as its climate technologies business, to have a more focused strategy. As we head into 2024, many private equity investors are worried that high interest rates and a softening economy will negatively impact private equity. Well, this is true, but there's another perspective. The softening economy will affect many businesses, including large conglomerates, that will be starved for cash in a high interest environment that has banks that are tightening their desire to lend. In an environment like this, conglomerates can unlock cash through selling non-strategic units to buyers, such as private equity firms. Investors, with high interest rates and the softening economy, you need to be extra careful when getting pitched on private equity funds. After all, the well-crafted pitches will have impressive projections, which may or may not be realistic. With that said, private equity funds that have dry powder in this market to spend on carve-outs may be able to get great deals on fantastic assets, which can result in pretty good future returns.